In every high school, there's always that one girl, the one they whisper about, laugh at behind her back, sometimes even to her face. For Naomi, that girl was her. She wasn't rich, she wasn't skinny, she wasn't the girl anyone wanted to sit with at lunch or partner with in class. Naomi was poor, overweight, quiet, and completely invisible, unless someone needed a target. Every day at school was a war zone. The snide comments, the tripped steps, the cruel laughter behind her as she walked past. And she bore it all in silence because no one ever stood up for her, not even the teachers. Until one rainy afternoon, everything changed. The day started like any other. But during gym class, a cruel joke went too far. A group of students locked Naomi in the equipment room as a prank, laughing while she screamed for help. They didn't realize she'd hit her head when she fell, or maybe they didn't care. By the time someone found her, Naomi was unconscious, and by the time paramedics arrived, she was pronounced dead right there, on the floor of the same school that had broken her spirit for years. No parents, no friends, no justice, just a lonely goodbye to a girl no one truly knew. 2 weeks later, a new girl showed up at school, beautiful, confident, rich. She had everything Naomi never had, and her name was Nova. No one noticed how her eyes lingered too long at the lockers, or how she flinched every time someone laughed. They were too busy admiring her curves, her skin, her style. Boys tripped over themselves to talk to her. Girls copied her look. It was like she had always belonged there. But at night, Nova's world shattered. Because every night, as she lay in her luxury bed in her luxury home, the visions returned. Her old life, her death, the fall, the laughter, the pain. She watched it like a movie she couldn't pause, couldn't skip, couldn't forget. One night, unable to bear it any longer, Nova screamed into the dark. Why? Why bring me back only to torture me? And then, a voice answered. Software, ancient, familiar. Because you wanted it. The shadows shifted in her room, and from them emerged the spirit, the one who had made the deal. You begged to be seen, it said, to be loved, and now you are. But beauty has a price. Nova remembered it now. As Naomi lay dying, her soul had screamed for another chance. Not to hurt those who wronged her, but to finally feel loved. The spirit had answered her call and gave her exactly what she wanted. But to keep it, she had to relive the moment that broke her every single night. Time passed. Nova smiled during the day and bled internally at night. But something began to change. She started noticing the very same students who once bullied her, now struggling. One girl crying in the bathroom, one boy eating lunch alone, another being mocked by a new crowd. And for the first time, Nova reached out. Not in judgment, but in kindness, because she knew how it felt. She couldn't erase Naomi's pain, but maybe she could stop someone else from feeling it. And something strange happened. The visions at night, they began to change. One night, the spirit appeared again, this time not in anger, but peace. You've paid your price, it said gently, but you were never meant to live in pain. The world that broke you needs to know what it lost. Nova was confused. What do you mean? And then the spirit showed her classmates mourning Naomi, placing flowers on her locker, reading her journal out loud at assembly. Even the meanest girl, crying. Naomi had mattered. Even if it was too late then, it wasn't too late now. The next morning, Nova stood before the school, hands trembling, voice steady, and she told them everything, who she was, what had happened, why she was back. There was silence, then gasps, then tears. No one laughed this time, because the girl they once ignored had become something so much more, not because she was beautiful, but because she was brave enough to speak. Nova kept her new life, but the curse was broken. No more nightmares, no more guilt. She used her second chance not for revenge, but for redemption. She started a support group, spoke to schools, wrote a book about bullying, self-worth, and hope. And every night before bed, she whispered her thanks, not to the spirit, but to the girl she once was, Naomi. Because Naomi never truly died. She just needed someone to believe she mattered. Sometimes the world breaks us, but if we survive it, if we rise, we don't just change our story, we inspire others to change theirs.